Back, everyone, despite of some long delays. We've got back here into Game 4 and what has been a pretty exciting best of 5 in the CEVO-Open finals here in Season 3. Garbage Gaming going up against The House is Down. I'm Helium, and with me is Chicago Ted.
Yeah, getting ready, getting mentally prepared to cast this Game 4. I don't think I've ever done a full best of 5 series. This could be the first one I do tonight. If THD go on to win this game, and then yeah, it's going to be a 2-2, and they'll go to a Game 5. So they're going to be looking to do that. Meanwhile, Garbage Gaming, they still have a match point. They're still looking to seal the deal right here, right now, to win these grand finals. So it's up to them. Well, the ball is in their court, rather, to win this game.
Indeed, once again, Garbage Gaming will take out the Enchantress, so they definitely know something about The House is Down, and it's that they like Enchantress. They're going to take out Alchemist as well on the side of The House is Down. They're going to ban out that OD. Definitely still an annoying hero. It's kind of situational on whether or not teams like to play against it or play it themselves. It gets banned out here first. Definitely still a strong pick and ban. They take out the Nature's Prophet as well. It's been played... it's been so long because of delays. I can't even remember if it was played in... I guess what was technically Game 2, but it was in the last game. Played pretty well by... Who was on that?
It was Garbage Gaming that were playing out the Alchemist Game 2. And...
No, I'm talking about Nature's Prophet.
Oh, Prophet.
Was it Knive?
Yeah, Knave was
yeah,
on the,
I think
Knive was on the Prophet.
Knive, yeah, on the Nature's Prophet. So they banned it out. They don't want to play it again. It's over to The House is Down now for their first pick.
Right, and they're going to go with a Venomancer. Bristleback, though, will find his way into the draft, as well as the Crystal Maiden. Not much intelligence between the two, but still a very strong combo.
That nerfed Crystal Maiden. Now she's just the dumb blonde walking around on the battlefield here.
Wasn't going to say it. I said it once. The stereotype, man. Valve, they're staying true to it, but...
I think they're pretty good with their female characters in terms of, you know, not just all beautiful, iconic like characters. They've definitely got some
well, you don't think
interesting silhouettes.
Is Vanity Fair worthy?
You know, maybe if I had like 6 arms and legs, I would, but you know, I don't currently. But Bristleback and Crystal Maiden, good combination. The Arcane Aura likely going to be maxed first, potentially. Maybe just leave 2 points in it early to help out the Bristleback, able to spam up his very spammable spells, the Viscous Nasal Goo, as well as the Quill Spray. Meanwhile, House is Down. We see the Venomancer can be annoying. Will they go for the Timbersaw here? I guess that was Garbage Gaming that had that, but potentially going to go for the Timbersaw.
Combo. That
yeah,
or Visage could definitely come out on this side of the playing field.
Let's go to stats. What's a great pick here to put with Venomancer? Going with Venomancer, you'd expect to see maybe a Visage here, 64% win rate. Rubik as well, about a 60%. And then Chen and Venomancer, 70.4% win rate as support. So they could still get the Chen potentially.
But they got the Timbersaw.
Yeah, they can still go back for the Chen. We'll see if they want to. If Enchantress has been being banned out, we know they do like their micro heroes. They had Chen in Game 1, or technically Game 2, THD did.
Yeah, and they also got the Visage last game, so they do like the Zookeeper builds, and of course Nature's Prophet's taken out, so that's not on the field. He's actually taken out for the first time in this series, as opposed to being played. Visage, though, will be banned, and that's an interesting thing. They don't want to play him, so they figure, okay, you know what, we don't want to fight him either. He's one of those heroes, they did get a little nerfed, and I mean, some people were saying that, oh, that's it for Visage. He's going to see a lot of downplay now, but he's still a really strong nuker.
Who was saying that? I don't know. Like 30 more mana onto the Grave Chill? I didn't think
and
it was
reduced
that
move
big of a
speed.
deal.
And yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like it would do anything. His Soul Assumption, though, is really strong in lane. So you can't really discount Visage out until they do something with that, which I don't think they will. I think Visage...
I mean, the Gravekeeper's Cloak in the last balance patch was pretty big nerf, and he even, you know, stayed true to that. So they're slowly bringing him down a little bit. I don't know. He's more manageable now.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll truly knock him down the next peg, though, because as I said, he just has an early skill set that can wreck most heroes.
Indeed. Well, back into the banning phase, we see an Abaddon picked out, which means that we will likely see Bane and or Mirana either picked or banned here in the coming ban phase. So we'll see what House is Down wants to react with. 2 more bans left here in the second phase.
Are we going to see a DK Bane Mirana?
I would like to. It's strong. I mean, DK as well as Venomancer. It's something they like to do in the Eastern scene a lot. Very strong push. They also like DK over there, although he's been pretty widely accepted everywhere as of late. So we'll see what they want to go with here. It is always fun to see the Mirana. Big, exciting arrows that people tend to just walk into sometimes. It's hard not to, as Bane going to get taken out right now.
Yeah, Mirana is just a lot of fun to watch. I mean, she gets played so often now. I mean, 9 out of 10 games you see a Mirana in. And that's just because she's one of those heroes that people like to play. And if she gets played well, she's really strong. But Viper will be the pick out, and Bristleback, Crystal Maiden, Viper. When you're talking about supports, Crystal Maiden has a good amount of potential to be a pretty tanky support. But Viper and Bristleback, that's a combo that you just can't kill.
Yeah, I mean, they're both heroes that are going to kill you if you don't kill them, that's for sure. They can do a ton of damage, lots of slow armor reduction, damage over time, what have you, and they both need to be focused, and it's pretty hard to kill either one of them.
Well, they both need to be focused, and they both will punish you for focusing
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a double-edged sword. It's the new meta, and I mean, it can definitely be beaten. I mean, they've got a lot of damage burst in the Timbersaw, and I like to personally think that Slardar is the answer to Bristleback almost undeniably, and we've already seen him been played once tonight, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he gets picked up once more.
Yeah, definitely. And if this goes on another game, we're definitely going to see him come on again. But the house is down. They're going for their third pick, and they got to figure out what to do now. I mean, if they have to fight a Timbersaw versus a Viper, they're in a little bit of trouble. But they're going to throw out the Lich, and Lich is strong. He's got a good skill set, but fighting a Bristleback Viper with a Lich is a little questionable. I'd like to see what they plan on doing with this, because both these heroes, both Viper and Bristleback, end up not taking a lot of damage from the Lich, which is one of the main reasons why teams pick him up, is because he can deal a lot of damage.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it might just be for the sacrifice in the laning stage to be able to run some more flexible lanes, maybe get a 2-1-2, get a decent level advantage in the early game, and then maybe try to win some fights after doing well in the laning stage. I don't know. Lich, Chain Frost, not likely to get a whole lot of bounces. I'd say not really more than 3 can be thought of as guaranteed, if that. And Frost Blast, it's attack speed, it's movement slow, it's essentially Crystal Nova, but it's targeted on people and a little bit less of an AoE, so it's pretty good. And it's a lot of damage early on, but you know, once there's points in Bristleback, it's not going to do too much to him. Still, not bad for Viper until he picks up a mech or an Aghanim Scepter.
Definitely. So, just going over really briefly, we had the Bane we talked about getting banned out. Luna also took a little bit of hit, so that's going to be gone, and it's now going to be a Rubik being picked out by Garbage Gaming. So there's your Rubik coming out, not with the Venomancer, but still being picked up, and that's a decent hero to have when you're fighting against a skill like Chain Frost and a skill like Poison Nova. And we might be seeing that come into play if there's an Aghanim Scepter coming on this Magus here.
Yeah, indeed. Pretty interesting Aghanim Scepter that they added over to Rubik.
Yeah.
Before, if you stole someone's ult and they had Ags, you would just get it, but now with the 5-second cooldown is pretty crazy. I don't expect Rubik to go for that. I've seen it, like maybe once or twice, and hey, look at that. It's a Slardar, so likely going to be played by Neofolk once again, and to speak to why it's a great counter, maybe not a counter, but a good answer to Bristleback, is the amplified damage pretty much negates the Bristleback. Pretty big.
Well, almost negates the Bristleback. I still think Bristleback can be very, very strong. And in terms of heroes that can deal with what amplified damage does, Bristleback might be the stronger picks of them. But yeah, definitely Slardar, as well as Doom, can make Bristleback shiver in his quills there, because he can't use them. Or effectively, rather. So Slardar, a decent pickup to have versus the Bristleback, versus the Crystal Maiden, versus the Rubik. But also, he's going to have a little bit of trouble once the Viper strikes start adding up, once the Quill stacks start adding up, and if he gets locked down fast enough. Thankfully, though, he isn't playing against the Timbersaw, so that's only going to serve to help him out. But The Doom, we just mentioned how he was going to be good versus a Bristleback. It looks like he's also good versus the House is Down, and they're going to go ahead and ban him out. They don't want to run him. Meanwhile, Invoker getting taken out, a little bit of a respect ban from last game. And very rightfully so, the Invoker was played very well.
10
A couple of
seconds
great
remaining.
Sunstrikes, some great rotations coming out from him. And we're going to go on for our
5
last
seconds
picks from
remaining.
both these teams. 30 seconds in reserve time. These teams are going to give them plenty of thought
Reserve
to figure
time.
out how they want to go with this. This is match point again for Garbage
Radiant
Gaming.
team, pick.
Meanwhile, House is down. They need one more game to tie up the score. So it's going to be a Weaver coming from Garbage. They've got a strong lineup. Let's see how the House is down can deal with it. Weaver will be a little bit questionable versus the Amplified Damage True Sight, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Sorry, I'm laughing because of Mutikins or Mutikins here in the how to counter Bristleback. Use the
5
AUG.
seconds remaining.
That is fair. I think that's anyone plays CS:GO as well as Dota 2 will get that.
No, we're
almost
in my
immediately.
territory now.
But yeah, okay. Weaver, I think is a good pick here. You can just time lapse, amplify damage. It's kind of whatever. If you get bashed,
Yeah,
you're
but
dead.
it's
Hopefully
a
you
low
don't get
cooldown.
bashed. There's no stuns though, and Weaver doesn't care about Gale, so he's good. Weaver could have a really big impact this game, but armor reduction galore coming out. Neofolk, of course, with amplified damage, and not to mention Shadow Fiend, another good answer to the Bristleback, reducing that armor and pretty much mitigating the effect of the damage reduction on Bristleback. Another good hero that I did mention in the stream chat while you were going over some of the picks and bans is I like Shadow Demon as well because of the damage amplification of Soul Catcher. I think those are really good ideas if we're to start shutting down a Bristleback.
Definitely, and it works versus a Bristleback. It works versus nearly everyone. But you were saying how, I mean, the amplified damage
10
not too great
seconds
versus the
remaining.
time lapse. It still has a low cooldown, so I mean, it's not too terrible. And you're
5
going in
seconds
terms of
remaining.
other items like dust that go away and you can't use it again. But yeah, no, definitely a strong draft coming out from both teams. And you mentioned how you were bringing CS:GO into this. No, I got flack for mentioning Dota 2 in the CS:GO channel the other day.
Oh, they hate
This
us.
is
I don't know
my
why.
territory. This is my territory now. There ain't no CS:GO going on in here.
I don't know why we can't get along. They're both Valve games. We all love Valve.
Friends.
They're also both two of the best esports titles of all time. The only other
Yeah.
one pretty much being StarCraft. But
Or, you know,
without that,
League of other
yeah,
L words. I'm not
I'd say it's done a lot for esports, even going into the mainstream. But anyway, Garbage Gaming here on the Dire. We've got Triceps on the Crystal Maiden. Rubik here, going to be supporting up behind the Weaver. That's going to be Froghead. Weaver, going to be handled by Ralph Fizzle. Bristleback will be Stufu. And SMD is going to be playing on the Viper.
Sure, it's not Viper playing the SMD.
I'm not
Either
sure.
way, it's gonna be for
30
Radiant.
seconds
We've
to
got
level.
Knive picking up the Timber Saw. It's gonna be
Hello?
the Creator on his mid-roll playing the Shadow Fiend. Vestius will be playing the Chain Gang Lich. It's gonna be Goo on the Venomancer. And finally, last but not least, Neofolk will be picking up the Big Bad Slardar.
Oh, I thought, for some reason, I saw Garbage with two heroes next to the Roshan Pit, and I thought Venomancer as well as Shadow Fiend were utilizing the Necromastery bug where you can deny the Plague Wards, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look like they're doing that. That way you can get, 4 or 5 souls going into the lane. Actually, you can, 12? I don't know if you can get 12 in that time frame,
yeah, it's
because you're
not
not
enough
going to
time.
get every deny, but it's possible. You can even do it with, I can't do it with the neutrals because they don't spawn, so really only a Roshan exploiting bug. Maybe the reason Garbage and them were actually scouting out the Rosh early on, but the lane spawn, Vestius is in the mid lane to help out Creator, get some XP with Sacrifice, I guess, deny some XP to the Bristleback.
And it's gonna be
Rotation, though.
Vestius just gonna sit in the mid lane here, and he knows what's happening. When you draft a Shadow Fiend, you know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be some aggression out on you. You're gonna have to be careful of that. So I really like Vestius' decision here to just wait until the Creator can sustain himself with last hits and denies, and just protect him so he doesn't die prematurely.
Yeah, it's definitely something you gotta expect on a Shadow Fiend, that you're gonna get ganked up early. Luckily for Shadow Fiend, his abilities lend themselves nicely to being one of the fastest flash farming heroes in the game, so even getting ganked 3, even upwards of 4 times, you're still gonna be able to flash farm in the jungle if you have some stacks awaiting you, and likely get your 15-minute BKB timing anyways.
Yeah, speaking of stacks, I'm surprised that we didn't see Vestius go ahead and stack up while he was waiting in lane right there, but there's no issue with that. He's going to move down to the bottom lane to complete this tri-lane. Meanwhile, the other side, the Stufu and Triceps are going to go ahead and duel it up, and in fact, Triceps is just going to back himself off because he knows he needs to get back to his lane.
Yeah, indeed. And to talk a little bit more about Lich, it's a pretty good pickup if you expect the other team to go aggressive. It really hurts when it's denying a creep further back every time, and then you're splitting one creep less every wave, going tri-lane versus tri-lane. It's pretty difficult, but I am a little worried that he's not going to add too much stuns or even that much burst damage.
Yeah, I mean, he will add that little bit of a mini stole, but on top of that, we can't expect too much out of him. It's going to be a Gale out on Froghead as well as a Crystal or Frostbite down to go on to Goo. Neofolk, though, he shouldn't be in... He's actually in a lot of trouble here. It's going to be Goo, though, that should take the first blood. It will be an immediate return kill for Neofolk, picking up the Rubik there. Spangler finding himself another item.
This guy cheats.
Yeah.
That was a really good play. This Rubik definitely lifts. He lifted up the Slardar, threw him down into the river, and then he had to run around, and that allowed them the time to kill the Venomancer, and thus Garbage Gaming, they pick up the first blood, but quickly the rebuttal kill there on the bottom lane. SMD, though, could be in some trouble. They don't even need to use the Crush. They can save it here, maybe get another one. But that was a hero denial, actually, some items being handed out there, so that's one of the problems having a Venomancer early. You can just deny those kills.
And it's not damage over time, either. Well, actually, no, he did have the Poison Sting. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Poison Sting is what allows for the denial there. Well, so does Gale. Once it, I don't know if you can. That's a good question. If you're at, I don't know if you can deny Gale at rank 1. I would assume you can, but it does no damage, so that situation is probably unlikely.
Yeah, you can deny Phoenix's ball though. At least last I heard, they might have hotfixed that.
Have not played against that hero yet.
You haven't?
So I play Captain's mode.
Game. Oh, dude, you're tryharding way too much. Oh, that's right. You play ranked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll see. I mean, I want to. I need to hop back into some pubs. But so far this game, Garbage Gaming off to a good start. First blood and the denial. So the fans gotta love him, handing out all the items here. Looking at the mid lane, the CS though, 15-8 for the Shadow Fiend, doing a pretty good job there. Bristle at 12-3. So both of those heroes getting a decent amount of farm in the mid lane.
Right. And speaking of the mid lane, there's a I don't know who's disconnected. It might be someone disconnecting right now. No, it's just a quick little puppy pause. The creator could be in a little bit of trouble. Is he stacked up with Nasal Goo there? No, he isn't. We might see a little bit going down on him. Stufu might be playing this carefully, though. There is pretty much full mana on the Shadow Fiend to try to get a couple of
He's got 3
raises
Quill
off.
Sprays stacked on him, which is going to start to hurt here.
And Stufu's going to back off. Oh, yeah, those Quill Sprays are really... Oh, man, look at the damage.
I'm surprised Stufu doesn't want to dive here. I would be so tempted right now, but...
Yeah, I would dive this.
We got Lich and the Venomancer kind of missing off the bottom lane, hiding back in the tree line, so they're not entirely sure, but look at this. Triceps has smoked up by himself and is going to look for a pickoff here. Won't be able to get that Flying Courier. Bottle handed out and immediately going to be going back to the fountain to get refilled. Triceps is going to find the creator. And Triceps himself might actually be in some trouble.
He's going to get a second one. He will get the second one.
Gets him.
Oh.
Nicely done. All 3 raises connect, as well as a couple of auto attacks in between, so Crystal Maiden gives up her life.
Yeah, that was 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out in the old Shadow Fiend raise game. And Stufu was nowhere close to help out his Crystal Maiden buddy, but I don't think he would have been able to do anything, to be honest.
Yeah, not really. You can still cast those raises, at least the close range one, when you're in the Frostbite, and it's not lasting too long. Not a lot of damage, Shadow Fiend. You know, pretty fast, 355 move speed. Could maybe just run away.
Maybe. So, Goo is dropping down the level 1 plague wards everywhere, but that's just 19 gold that's going the way of Viper every single time. He's just turning and deciding, okay, well, that ward's mine now.
Yeah, I don't know if feeding
this.
last hits on those wards is the biggest deal, especially since there's already a Lich here denying 1 creep every single wave. But it's definitely something worth noting. One more point in the plague wards next should stop that. It's going to make those a lot scarier. So level 4 going to be a big level here for Goo.
If he decides to go for it, we'll have to wait and see.
Man, Creator is playing the Shadow Fiend like a boss. He's getting Stufu, even pushing him off the lane, landing these nice raises, getting the harass in there when he can. And team's only going to get scarier. THD is only going to get scarier as they get more levels on the Shadow Fiend with the armor reduction AoE. As in the bottom lane, they look to fight. I think Neofocus is going to have to back off of that one. TP coming in. That's going to be the Timbersaw making the first rotation in the off lane here. Neofocus needs to get the stun on the Triceps. Will get the stun. Gale comes out, no damage. Neofocus can run away. It's going to be Knife on the Timbersaw that picks up the kill with the Shock Remedy. Backs off. Here comes Bristleback with the DD. And I think it's THD going to be able to cleanly get in and out. Goo, bit of a stutter step. I think it could be in case Rubik, this bro does lift. We know this. Goo will go down, unfortunately. I think he maybe could have lived there, but 1-for-1 trade. Not too bad for either side.
This bro does lift. I have to emphasize that little phrase.
I did say that.
You did.
Apologies.
But no, yeah, that was a weird fight overall. There was a return kill coming out. It's 4-2 right now at 7 minutes, and we can take a quick glance over the XP and gold graph, and it's relatively even in gold, but it hasn't really surpassed 300 either way, which is very close, mind you. And in terms of XP, about 1,500 going the way of THD, which goes to show how decent early kills are at giving you that XP advantage.
Yeah, sorry, I'll pull up the graphs. You were talking about them.
Oh, yes.
I saw in the chat someone saying you cannot deny Poison Sting, you can deny level 1 Gale. That sounds like it could be correct.
That is interesting. That means if someone's running away at low health and your Venomous Gale can't net a kill, then it might just be good not to even use it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, even being denied is better than them living.
This is true. A little bit of gold that gets lost on their part. The Creator, though, is being absolutely in control of what's going on, though. He's launching the raises, or threatening to launch the raises, which is making Bristleback ultimately incredibly paranoid at going in on this guy. And, you know, Shadow Fiend is one of those heroes that you're not typically scared of engaging on, but he is making Stufu scared.
Yeah, he's a full level above him, about almost a level and a half above him, and TP's coming now. They're going to try to get the deny on the middle tower, but Creator will quickly last hit it. May even give up his life for it. No, he's going to try and fight this. He's going to try to kill Stufu, trying to get those attacks, and needs a couple more wand charges to get him up to a lot. The Raze will take him down, and I don't even know if he needs to turn around here. It could have potentially just killed the Rubik. In the bot lane, actually, they're going to net a kill up on the Venomancer. Venomancer drops level 6 here on Neofolk. He's going for the tower dive. Stun out. No stun yet. Crush. Yes, you can cast spells from Frostbite. One more hit should do it. Might drop to the tower, but should be. No, he's dead. Yeah, sorry. You're dead. But almost worth it. They pick up 2 kills. Definitely worth it, I would say, actually. Gives up his life. Knive back in the top lane, farming on the Timbersaw. A hero that does okay versus Viper, actually. That's Timbersaw.
I don't know. Any 1v1 lane, Timbersaw typically loses out to the Viper. But
no, to the Venomancer. Oh, sorry, the Weaver.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Game is hard.
But SMD did get a return kill as we were talking out on the Venomancer in the bottom lane.
Yes, he dies around that location.
But
as a Creator, wow, this guy doing so much damage right now.
Yeah, THD have got this game in their control right now, or at least Creator has it. The bottom lane has been strong in their own respect, but this Shadow Fiend, like, I've played Shadow Fiend mid lane. I can't do what this guy's doing. It's just he's got so much control over his hero that he's absolutely dominating any matchup that or almost dominating any matchup he's been in, and doing it convincingly. So this guy is pretty much the the playmaker of the game, and we're looking on him to bring this game into the next portion of the game until the Slardar gets his Blink Dagger up online, and then things become absolutely garbage for Garbage Gaming.
How? I don't know, you would expect that from Garbage, I guess. So far, they haven't lived up to their name. They've been a really good team. I've been excited to watch them play the first time I've got a chance to. But when I saw that THD signed up, even at the start of Season 3, when I saw that they were in Open, I didn't quite catch it. I maybe would have put them in main, but they didn't apply or enter the placement phase. But I expected THD to win Open, and it looks like they've got the opportunity to do that tonight. They find themselves kind of directing this game for now. Creator's Shadow Fiend, I don't know if it can be stopped. So far it's 2-0. 67 make it 70 CS, leading everyone by a pretty large margin, and even Knive in the top lane getting a lot of levels has mana boots as he's going to start working towards likely the Bloodstone. Neofolk, I think the Blink Dagger? No, not quite finished yet, but you know, getting pretty close.
Yeah, he's going treads first, which is a smart move on his part, just to give him a little bit of extra oomph when he goes into these fights. But after that, this is definitely going to be his Blink Dagger coming out next. He's at 800 gold and climbing fast. So when that starts to come out, things might get a little scary for Garbage Gaming. But until then, they still have plenty of opportunity to make things happen. They've got the Bristleback, they've got the Viper, and they've got a Weaver who's been farming pretty significantly. He's got 59 last hits right now against the Timbersaw, who doesn't seem to be doing amazingly well versus him. He's gotten last hits, yes, but ultimately, he just got forced off the lane. He's been having a little bit of trouble in the recent times, and now here comes the Creator out on his back, probably going to try to get 2 or 3 raises off. Completely misses on the... Whoa. Wait, wrong team.
Yes, there you go. Requiem of Souls, pretty good ability, and that means you've already got a level 11 Shadow Fiend on your hands. He's got 2 points and a good Chain Frost as well on the bottom lane. Gonna get 2, so here I was talking about Chain Frost, not likely to get a lot of bounces, but it does there. It takes out 2 in the bottom lane, and now we've got Rubik in trouble. Poison on him will just run out. He lives with about 5 HP.
Well, the poison that was on him wouldn't have killed him. That was the Poison Nova. The Sting ran out a good second before.
Well, I'm sure Rubik was still a little worried.
Definitely, I would have been. But here comes SMD. He's going to go ahead and throw the Viper Strike, which does slow up Neofolk, but he's still moving really fast. And now the Creator. If he dies here, this could be a decent chunk of gold going to whoever gets the kill, but it's going to be Neofolk going down, misses out the stun. But that doesn't stop them. Goo will be the return for this, and that's going to be a nice little penny to go in their pocket. But unfortunately, that's not a Shadow Fiend. It's not a Slardar, and that won't be the highest priority target that they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's Venomancer's role in this game. Even when you play Venomancer, your role is basically get a Poison Nova off and then die. Yep. And maybe defend the push with Plague Words when you respawn. It's pretty much all you got to do. And buy some wards, upgrade the courier, whatever. Do know your role, as he seems to be doing that. Vestius, though, also going to be in trouble. Tries to juke into the trees, but he's got a bug on him. Meanwhile, on the backside of things, though, Creator picks up some kills along with Knive. Neofolk as well, still alive right now. Going to force out the time-lapse. Creator, this could be his first death. He's got a BKB, but he's not going to want to use it there, so he loses half of his souls. The Requiem goes out, doing some damage. I don't know if it's quite enough. Knive tries to wand up to live here, going through the trees. Will be brought down. Neofolk as well, very, very low. He's got 11 wand charges, so I think he's trying to bait this a little bit longer. Wands up, but he's going to drop immediately. That was maybe a little over-aggression here as Garbage Gaming making a run for the comeback here. They're going to have a full team wipe. As actually, did Lich respawn already, or was he able to just TP back? I'm not sure. I think that's 5 down, though, on the side of THD, and honestly, I think Garbage Gaming could have kept going and likely killed that Lich. There is no Chain Frost.
Definitely. That was a lot of aggression, a lot of greediness coming out from THD, and they overstayed their welcome. They were feeling in control. But then after your main control of the game, the Shadow Fiend died out, it started to feel a little lopsided as Slardar, who had every opportunity, mind you, to get away at low health, ran right back in and got bursted down.
He didn't see the Rubik. He was really trying to extend the play to kill the pretty squishy Weaver because he had 11 wand charges, but Rubik was there with the lifts, and we know he lifts, so bit of trouble. Triceps, though, could be in trouble. Throws out the slow of the Crystal Nova.
Speaking
I think he's going to be okay to catch up, but no, SMD is there on the Viper. That's going to dissuade any further aggression from the Creator. He backs off, goes back mid lane.
Yeah, so right now, THD are in a decent position, but they just fed 5 to Garbage Game. We take a look at the Golden XP, and we can definitely see the grass reflecting that very nice fight on their part, but it's still in a pretty good favor of THD right now, and it's going to take one or more bad fight before it hits equilibrium.
Yeah, I would say they're still in the driver's seat. It's not a huge lead as we approach 16 minutes, but it's still like something. And Creator, I like that he picked this BKB up early. It gives you HP, gives you some damage, and I really like that he knew he was going to die. he didn't use his BKB charge, because you can find yourself in those awkward games where you get a BKB really early and then use all the charges and you kind of become useless in the late game despite, you know, a lot of damage, as we see Knive narrowly escaping a gank in the top lane.
Right, definitely. And Neofolk does have his Blink Dagger up and ready, so that's going to be a big point for THD to start really securing up their lead here. And we just saw Bristleback trying to deal some good damage to him and get some harass on him, but really wasn't able to do too much to him. Meanwhile, Slardar is just still farming. He's got decent regen, but not incredible. A lot of wand charges because of the Bristleback's harass, and he's got a lot of damage on his side.
Yeah, I look now. 4 magic wands have been finished up on the side of THD. Very, very smart decision when playing against a Bristleback. Vestius might want to go for one, and here comes Stufu in a bit of trouble. Amplified damage finally going out, and they should be able to bring down the Bristleback, but no, they're going to decide to run. Creator has picked up another Invis rune, has BKB, has not used the charge yet. Vestius, can he ult? He does get the ultimate off, going to try to slow up, but there's only one bounce going out onto the Viper. There is some true sight. They go ahead and shock Creator. I think that's going to scare him off. He will run, and they only lose the Lich, so it's not all bad. Knive, meanwhile, finding some farm in the lane, getting close to that Bloodstone.
Some very nice play by the Creator. He realized that he wasn't going to be able to win that fight, so he just backed right off. Nothing was going to save him if he had stayed just a second longer. So some great rotation, or some great backing up from him. Good awareness of what's going on. And you mentioned they only lost the Lich, so that's not too bad, but that is another kill that goes the way of Garbage Gaming, and that is an extra boost that they use to bring this game back into their hands.
Yeah, it's also pretty hard for these carries on the side of THD to start finding their farm, because each one of them individually is kind of outlaned by either the Bristle, the Weaver, or the Viper. They're very strong heroes, they're very scary heroes. And, well, if we look at this, Rubik has... Oh, I thought... never mind, sorry. I thought Rubik had stolen amplified damage. But that's something to look out for. That's a really big spell for this Rubik to pick up this game.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you picked up amplified damage, then we could see some pretty big plays happening. But, of course, THD, they're going to hold on to that one for themselves, being very greedy, not giving that one up to the enemy. But bottom tower are going to get pushed really fast right now. Neofolk, he is in a lot of trouble. He's actually pinned in his own jungle underneath the tower. He's waiting for rotation, though. He's going to pounce on this as soon as he can. The tower is going to go down. There he goes. He actually pounces to get away. So his team wasn't willing to commit to a fight there. He wasn't willing to commit, and the tower goes down. No return. The Creator, meanwhile, in the top lane, taking a Chakra Magic, but ultimately defending the top tower from any extra harass. And there's a haste rune bottled up on Stufu.
Nice. Well, we saw Garbage Gaming take that bottom tier 1 tower, and they quickly rotated over into the mid lane, where Viper will say hello to the Timbersaw, able to TP away. But Stufu, as you mentioned, picking up the haste rune, doesn't want to dive under the tower. Vestius, they can assume that Chain Frost is up, and they're almost right. It comes up now, so it's diving under towers right now, still a little risky anytime when you're going up against a Lich.
Right, and, you know, they do have the amplified damage, which in any ordinary scenario, you'd see that Bristleback dive balls to the walls underneath the tower, right? But with the fact that there's amplified damage present through the Dark Lord, he just doesn't have the same tankiness as he usually did. You were talking about this in the draft. But here he goes. Definitely. He's going to dive in between the towers onto Vestius. But we see exactly that. He just gets amplified damage up, and he falls fast. Meanwhile, the Creator dropping the hammer, but not hitting anything. There's your phrase, by the way. And SMD looking to try to find a kill, but he gets Chain Frosted up. That's going to go the way of the Timbersaw, though. Triceps in a little bit of trouble. Drops down the freezing field, doing not enough damage to pick up a kill. And THC controlling that team fight, picking up 3 for nothing.
We need something for channeling spells. We got Drop the Hammer for Sanity's Eclipse and whatnot. We get, like...
Rev the engine? I don't know.
Yeah, revving the engine. I don't know.
Popping that V8, you know?
Yeah, well, we'll think of something. Anyways, good fight for THD. Bristleback gets a little crazy, forces out some TPs, and those TPs, well, they saw some changes into 6.8, able to TP in faster, doesn't stack up the delay on TPs quite as quickly anymore, so they're able to react pretty quick. They immediately taking out the Bristleback, following up there on the Viper, just using the Chain Frost for the damage. The mini stun is pretty nice. And I think Ralph Fizzle gets out of there, but Crystal Maiden will go down. I think they lose 3 on that dive, and the mid-tier 1 tower has still not gone down.
Right, I have to have an answer to your question, by the way. What do you do for the channeling spells? You've already got one for Black Hole, which is Toby shouting out Black
yell.
Hole. So maybe it is just yelling it. So when Crystal Maiden drops the freezing field, we just yell freezing field over the course of the duration and just kind of let it go from there.
We'll see. It's a little late to be screaming around now. We did have some delays, so anyone that's still sticking around started watching here in game 2 because it was that 1 game advantage for Garbage. Well, big shout out to you guys for sticking around. Make sure to follow the channel, twitch.tv/playcevo1. And for anyone else, whether it be in-game, you've bought the ticket, so again, shout out to you, or on stream, make sure to head over to CEVO.com and sign your team up for CEVO Season 4, $5,000 in cash prizes minimum, and you've got until February 17th to sign up, so make sure to do that. As back into the game we go. Take it away, I guess, net worth or some graphs.
Right, and it's still maintaining relatively close. I mean, XP is starting to get out of control for Garbage Gaming. It's closing out on 7,500. Experience advantage for THD, but gold is still within 3,000.
All right, one big team fight up top. Actually, SM. No, there's a pause. Well,
Puppy Paws, the creator, unleashes. And
SFD seed. What a time to DC. Well, that was a pretty good Shadow Raise. It's taken a chunk of damage out of SMD. It didn't do much to Stufu because, of course, he was...
There is a mechanism popped, it looks like, from someone. Is there? Yeah, the mechanism was popped. I think SMD was actually really close when that hit because he took a lot of damage. He's actually taken damage from the Viper, the Venomancer, sorry, too. So he's been taking a lot, but the mech healing Bristleback up. And now going back in, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so going to go down quickly. There's SMD on the Vipers. Not quite able to get out of that one. Ralph Fizzle going to be up on a mega kill streak, though, on the Weaver here, so doing a really good job. Neofolk, though, does have a double damage. They got to be careful. He wants to go back in, get that stun off. He does get the stun off. Half of the Requiem of Souls going out. It's not enough to kill Ralph Fizzle. He lives on almost 0 HP. The Chakram comes in, though. Weaver doesn't see it, run straight into it, so it's going to be Slardar able to actually get that kill. And do they want to continue to chase here? He will go onto Triceps. I think Neofolk should maybe just run away here. He's going to drop, but Knive is going to get a double kill. THD loses 3, but Garbage Gaming has been completely team wiped.
Going into that fight, even in the middle of that fight, I thought that Garbage Gaming had it. But that was really questionable of Weaver to just walk right into the Chakra magic and die out like that.
I mean, max speed Sakuchi, you just don't see it sometimes as Viper picks up the Aghanim Scepter and TP's up top. Knive maybe overextending his welcome. Might be able to get away with that.
Crystal Maiden comes in and she can drop the Frostbite. No, doesn't have enough time to TP in. But yeah, you're right. The Weaver can quickly get out of hand moving really fast like that. But yeah. Garbage Gaming ultimately getting wiped in that fight, and now gonna kind of pay for it as they go down. But in that fight, I would like to note, and I forgot right there what I was gonna say, but I did remember that Gorgon the Wonder Cow did end up getting an item from there. So a lot of CEVO staff are actually getting an items tonight. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Hashtag rigged.
Hashtag rigged. I still haven't got anything. I did get a red hoof though, so I'm happy about that.
That's pretty nice. So I guess that's coming from the Year Beast battle. Top 10% for that night, I guess is what that is. Not bad, but here we go. Not the Year Beast, but Roshan is going to be tackled up by THD. The house is down. They've got that armor reduction to be able to throw out on Roche, and they're not even using it because they have... There it goes. It had nothing to break the Lincolns, except amplified damage twice.
As I said, though, it's got a low cooldown, so it's not too bad. But yeah, this would have been cheese 2 games ago, I think it was. So it's the fact that it's not cheese is kind of a breath of fresh air at 24 minutes. Normal Roshan times.
That's what happens when you start off the game with a level 1 Roche. But Garbage Gaming, they're able to at least make a bit of a trade. They get the top tier 2 tower, but Garbage gets Roche, they get middle. Requiem of Souls being channeled out onto a lot. Neofolk gets the stun immediately. The Viper Strike goes out. Aghanim Scepter on Viper, so he's going to be throwing out another one in 5 seconds. The Chakram from Knive, though, doing a ton of damage. Not to mention the slow in conjunction with that Chain Frost. Pretty devastating, as a lot of people got caught up in that Chakram. Requiem of Souls, it should be noted, it does do a 20% slow, and Creator hit about everybody, so they're able to get more bounces than I guess I thought on the draft out of that Chain Frost, and another really good team fight for THD. Looks like we could be going into a Game 5.
That was a disaster for Garbage Gaming. They not only the 20% slow, the 50% damage reduction, fighting on the low ground, they had nothing in that fight. They couldn't do anything. And now, I mean, Garbage Gaming are left to try to clean up the mess and maybe get a successful defense off to try to win the game here, but things are quickly slipping out of their hands.
Yeah, well, they hold on to their 2-3 tower, so that's the important part.
Yep.
Although not the most counter push ever. They can clear out creep waves pretty quickly with the Fable, with the Crystal Nova, but, you know, not a lot to make a stand, like Venomancer Wards or Cauda Blast or anything like that, doing tons of hero damage. But, you know, still in this. The Lincolns comes out now. It's been up for a while, actually, on the Weaver. Needs some damage. He's got a Mithril Hammer. He's 5-2 and 5. Could be a BKB. Could very well just be a Desolator. I think they need the damage.
Yeah, and you were saying that not many things to pop the Lincolns. Well, still holds true. I mean, Venomancer does have a 4-staff that could possibly be used, as well as a Frost Blast coming out from Lich, but you're right, there's not many things to pop that Lincolns on Weaver, and when you use one, you just kind of have to give it up for the next time you exceed the D-Zone.
Rubik in a little bit of trouble. Neofolk, I think, blinked away, maybe scared of some counter initiation. I'm not sure, but, well, Amplified damage was stolen, but Rubik will go down. Not going to be able to keep that spell in his arsenal. As a BKB comes out for the Slardar, so BKB blink there. There's a BKB on the Shadow Fiend, still with a 7-second charge, so pretty good amount of time. Also, the Mantis Style has come out. There's a pipe on Knive on the Timbersaw. He's had really big impact in these last couple team fights. Stufu on the Bristleback has picked up a Heaven's Halberd, which should help shut down the Shadow Fiend or the Slardar a little bit. And the Aghanim Scepter and the Lincoln Sphere, the only 2 other items to speak about. Able to TP away.
That
good
was
timing.
Pretty good timing, but great vision from THD in this game. Allow them to figure out where that Viper was,
kidding.
but I'm surprised when they killed the Rubik down here. They didn't really realize that there was a ward. That was the reason Rubik was there. So they might be trying to go to D ward that soon. But looking for the ward, I think Garbage Gaming know it's there, but here comes Neofolk going straight on in. There is the Freezing Field, but again, doing very little to no damage. Poisonous Gale, Venomous Gale going flying out, doing some pretty good damage. Thufu is running away on very low health. The Chain Frost does bounce to him, doing very low damage though. But however, it is going to be Neofolk as well as Knive coming in to deal the deeps. And that's going to be another 4 dropping from Garbage Gaming. And this, I think, could be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they're really starting to just man up on these team fights. Everything is going right for THG. They're getting a decent Requiem of Souls, decent Chain Frost. The Chakram's hitting multiple people. Venomancer lived up to his name. He got off a Poison Nova and lived. So, you know, things are going well for you if you're Venomancer in that situation. And your team is about to take Arax, tie up this series, and look to win the $250 for first place here in CEVO-Open, which means that South American teams stepping up. They won CEVO Main as well as potentially winning here in CEVO-Open.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is pretty good for them right now. They're in a great position, and they've been controlling these last 2 games with almost ease. It's kind of a complete opposite of what happened during the first game, but I think that might have been that they just weren't all there.
Yeah, they just got caught off guard by that Roche attempt, and they lost their lane so hard it was kind of over as soon as that tri-lane just dominated. And you got to respect Garbage. I mean, out of the box strat, and they really executed it well, I thought. But THD, The team I would have expected to win this series, but not to say I haven't been impressed with Garbage Gaming's play.
Yeah, Viper playing this smart. He's going to the back lines, making sure that Neofolk can't blink up at the whim. But now that Neofolk is out of it, there he goes. Drops the hammer right there on Fizzle there. And Fizzle actually goes ahead for the time lapse. It's not going to help him as the Chain Frost does follow him. They know where he is. It doesn't even matter. They got their target switched to SMD. They're trying to do the damage to him. He's going to throw down the Viper Strike, though, on to Knive. A lot of damage coming out his way. Can he get away? He can. The chain is available. Meanwhile, the racks are falling fast. This could be the second set of racks, but it isn't over. Onto the bottom tower. Goo taking a lot of damage. He will fall, but there comes Knives straight on in with a Timber Chain. SMD will fall to the blink slam of Neofolk, who might go down. He's going to try TP. This shouldn't happen. It won't happen. And that's going to be a 3-for-2 right now. Garbage losing 3 in this defense, and they're going to call it. They're going to call the GG. Weaver will pick up the Desolator, but it isn't going to matter. Triceps knows when it's over, and they're going to go ahead and drop on out for the Game 5. THD evening up the score.
Well, great play in the early game by THD, their mid-player creator on the Shadow Fiend, doing some work. No doubt about that. But Knive, I'm going to have to give Knive MVP on this Timbersaw. Great early. He was the first offlaner to rotate. They netted some kills off of that. And since that point, he never really stopped being a threat. 10-1. His chakrams were on point, especially that last one in the last little fight we just saw there. 2-man chakram. The pull through with the Timber Chain kills them both for the double kill. Nicely played. He also likes Megadeth, so he's automatically cooler than Chicago Ted here, which is my co-caster. You can follow him on Twitter at Ted.